Hi everyone. Let's proceed from where we left in our previous video. Let's have a quick recap of what we discussed in the valuation framework. In valuation, the first step is to estimate the future economic benefit. That's step number one. Second is estimating the discount rate, step number two. And the third step would be bringing all the future economic benefits in present value. In a broader sense, we have completed, first of all, step number two, which is WACC, right? So we have a WACC which will be used as a discount rate. Now, broadly, we have also estimated the future economic benefits, which is FCFF. We'll have to clean up this FCFF first of all. Let's understand what do we mean by cleaning up this FCFF. See, this particular FCFF, which is in cell number K26, is for March 26, which is expected to generate in the financial year. If we talk about this financial year 26, which is going to start from where? It is going to start from 1st April 25, and this is going to continue up to 31st March 26. But whereas in our input section, which is valuation input section, we have discussed that we are going to do a valuation in 1st Feb 26. So theoretically, we can see that there is a distinction between the actual time which has been given in the column counter, which is the difference between cell number J2 and K2 is actually 1 year, whereas the difference between the valuation date and the closing period for the estimate year is less than 1. So the economic benefit which is estimated for March 26 will not be discounted for 1 year. The time remaining for the valuation is going to be less than 1 year. The second part is going to be the future economic benefit which is generated for March 26 will be spread across the financial year, which is starting from 1st April 25 to 31st March 26. But since we are doing the valuation in 1st Feb 2026, so that tells us that the cash flows which will be produced or generated for the financial year is also spread between the period which is already completed and which is yet to complete from the valuation date. So we are also going to bifurcate that part as well. Let's give row headers for us. Let's come to cell number C28 and we are going to write discounting index, which is basically time remaining to valuation date. And this time remaining is going to be in years. Then we have discounting factor. Then we will have FCFF available for discounting. To address row number 28, which is discounting index, we are going to make some changes in a cell in valuation input. Which one is that? That is going to be stub. So you need to first of all come to this stub, which is cell number E19 of input and calculation. We use a function which is called as year fraction. So this year fraction will give us how much period of the year is already completed from the start to end date. So this becomes my start date, which is 31st March 2025, comma, end date is going to be valuation date. And I give this as 1, which is actual by actual, and I close the bracket. I press enter, and here I have stub value in years, which is less than 1, of course. We rename this cell, which is cell number E19 to YRFRAC, and I press enter. I come to cell number F19 and write YRFRAC, and again press enter, change the cell, again press enter and change the cell style to cell name. Let's check whether the cell name is correct or not. Yes, it is correct. The moment I select YRFRAC, it refers to this cell. Now let's come to this DCF and DCF sheet, and in cell number G28, we use nested if function. So if G2 is less than equals to 0, give this value to be 0, or else check if this is equals to 1, then the value is going to be 1 minus YRFRAC, comma, if not, this is going to be F28 plus 1. I close the bracket and second bracket closed and press enter. So right now it gives us dash. I copy this formula to write to all the cells. And here we have the time remaining to valuation date for each and every financial year, right? So since the time remaining is somewhere zero point 0.2 for 31st March 2026 to valuation date, so obviously for March 27, it will be zero point 0.2 plus 1. And this will be 1.2 plus 1. This will be 2.2 plus 1, and so on and so forth. The next row, which talks about discounting factor. Let us also understand this part. So now, if this is what is my free cash flow for March 2027, which will be generated for in financial year March 27. Since this is in future value terms, right? So this is my FV. I can say this is FV. But we will have to discount that in present value, which is in PV. What is my PV date? That's 1st Feb 26. So this future value needs to be discounted in present value terms. For that, we will need to know what will be my discount factor in this case. Now, what do we mean by discount factor? This comes from the time value of money concept. If you understand the future value formula, this goes like this, which is future value equals to present value into 1 plus r raised to the power of n. R stands for rate and n stands for number of periods. Whereas we will have to calculate present value in this case, right? If we are looking to calculate present value in this case, so that means the present value is going to be future value into 1 divided by 1 plus r raised to the power of n. Now, this particular section, which one? This is our discounting factor. This is our discounting factor. What is R for us? It's WACC. What is N for us? It's already calculated above, which is the time remaining, which is in row number 28. So time remaining for this part is going to be 1.2. So discounting factor is what we are going to calculate in row number 29. So let's use a formula. So if this is equals to 0, then give it 0, or else the formula goes like this: start a bracket, 1 divided by second bracket, 1 plus. Now rate is going to be WACC, WACC. We already have cell reference. I press tab, close the bracket, which is the denominator section, to the power of n. So n is going to be this one, which is G28 itself. So I close the bracket, and final bracket has also been closed, and I press enter. I select this array and press Ctrl R, and here we have the discount factor. Now let's address this particular row, which is row number 31, which talks about FCFF available for discounting. As we said that for March 2026, there is going to be two portion of FCFF, which is already completed up to the date of valuation. And second is all the FCFF, which is yet to come after the valuation date. So we are only going to discount the FCFF which are available or which is coming after the valuation date till the closing of the financial year. So in this case, once again, we are going to use if function. So if this is less than equals to 0, keep it 0. Then secondly, check if this is equals to 1. That means we need to bifurcate the FCFF. So if this is true, this is going to be FCFF multiplied by the time remaining of that period, or basically the fraction of the year, comma, or else simply select the FCFF, which is G26. So I close the bracket, and once again I close the bracket, and I press this tab, and selecting the array for this, and I press Ctrl R, and here we have the FCFF available for discounting. So once again, just giving you what is happening in this cell, which is K31. So it checks if K2 is less than equals to 0. The answer to that is no. So again, it checks if K2 equals to 1. The answer to that is yes. So the second if answer is yes, which says K26 into K28. K26 is FCFF, K28 is discounting time index. And for all the remaining cases where the answer to the second if is uh, more than 0, which is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the true value is going to be K26 itself. So here we have in this cell, we have FCFF available for discounting. The next part is we are going to discount them, bring them in present value terms. So present value of visible FCFF. Now this is going to be simple for us. FCFF, future cash flows to firm available for discounting, multiplying by the discounting factor. So basically this is where the step where we are using the discounting factor multiplying with the future value and copying this formula to right. And here we have simple multiplication which is happening, K31 into K29, and all these formulas are same. Now we come to this cell which is E33. We use a sum function. So all the visible FCFFs need to be summed up. Why we are summing up? Because all this FCFF which we can see in front of us are summed up to get us the present value of future cash flow to firm or free cash flow to the firm. Okay, I hope we are clear up to this point. If you have any question, drop that in comment box. Thank you for watching this video.